My name is Flip. I am 30 years old. I live in Bethesda, Maryland, just outside of DC. And I am the founder and solopreneur, I hate that word, but I'm using it, of Team Culture Your Way, which is a team building company. And I'm very proud of it, so I'm wearing a hat representing it today. And very excited to be playing Stranded Kagayan. Um, I know that like maybe the winner is a little bit like people don't love, and I don't blame them. Just the I think it changed the nature of the game pretty much forever. Um, I think there were so many times that you saw something at tribal council that you'd never seen before, and so many people willing to make bold moves, and also so many people willing to just be goats at the same time. And yeah, I mean, I think it also produced so many recurring characters. Like it seems like half that cast has come back multiple times. Like memorable moments, cool twists, personalities, and love him or hate him, a very, very entertaining winner. I used to be more involved in the LRG, ORG community when I was younger, like almost 10 years ago, 8, 9 years ago. I played Survivor DC recently and did fairly well. And then last week I played Zoom Traders, a version of Zoom Traders where I also did fairly well as a faithful. But yeah, what I get out of it, to answer your question there, competitiveness. You watch these shows, you think, oh, I could go do that. I want to see how I stack up, and you want to test yourself and meet new people. I do love meeting new people, and it's always something new. And I am always looking for some sort of new dopamine hit. And there's nothing like that when you're out there in the woods, surviving both socially and in this case, really having to test yourself in terms of, not eating as much and not having all the amenities that you're used to. I've never done a game like that before, so I'm super excited to get something new out of Stranded for sure. Probably like most other people playing these things, we all want to be on Survivor, right? And only a very lucky, select, hand-picked few get to do that. And so why not take what might become available if given the opportunity, in the world of LRGs, right? I mean, like, part of the appeal for me, I'm a person who doesn't love a lot of structure and routine. Like in my daily life, I have to force myself into it. So I it's nerve wracking, yes, and there's a little bit of anxiety. You always want to feel some sort of like comfort and safety, that things are going to be okay in life. But a big part of the appeal is like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen here. This is a whole new animal for me. And I think you see on Survivor CBS, like everybody's like, you prepare all the time, and I had that every scenario, and then you get out there and it all goes out the window, and it's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna listen to them. I'm just gonna show up and be full, hopefully. I feel like I have a track record of being fairly adaptable and have good reads in these games and know when to press certain buttons and when to not press certain buttons. I think the thing that is my biggest strength is also my biggest weakness in this game, and that is that I get paranoid. And when I get paranoid, another sort of side of me kicks in, which is pure survival mode, and I sort of become this forceful personality. So I'm really good at reading the dynamics going on. I'm a good strategist, and I am good socially. Like initially, like I ask questions about people. I like to think that I'm a little bit charming. I don't come off as like a terrible person that you don't want to be around. But when I feel like there's a threat, or I feel like the game's got to go and I got to make my move, I sort of, get really like tunnel vision, like directing everybody, not afraid to be out front, making myself the biggest threat, because I know that if I make myself the biggest threat but have allies that want to work with me, they're not going to vote me out. And I would rather control my own fate, so to speak, in the game and get to the end and fight for myself at the end, as this person who, oh, now we need to take him out, versus sit back and be at somebody else's like disposal. I have found that in these games that being a big meat shield who has strategy is not the worst strategy to get towards the end of the game. Like, you can play a bunch of different ways. You can play a perfect game and still not win. And my strategy, my theory in these games is always, let's just get to the end and worry about it then. I believe in my ability to sway people and convince people if I'm able to get to that point where I have to argue my way to the end. and I want to do that. That's fun for me. So I'd like to not be as paranoid to answer your original question, and I'd like to maybe rely on just purely my social game a little bit more. But I also have a track record of playing a certain way in these games, and it really hasn't gone badly for me. So I think you can probably, if I make it at least midway through the game, you can anticipate me starting to become more of an assertive personality and taking over a lot of moves about midway through the game. I usually keep like quiet at the beginning, and that's when they have a chance to get me out, I think. But if you don't take me out at the beginning, I think there's a very, very likely chance that I'm making it very, very, very deep into the game. I've never been in a non-returnee season of a game where I didn't know, like I knew somebody prior. I've never been in that situation yet, where I didn't already know they were going to be there. So if I saw somebody there, I'd be like, fuck. They know how good I am at this. They know I'm so fucking good at this. And so, you know, I mean, like, it depends on who it is, obviously. If it's like an ally of yours, somebody you actually do think, like, oh, down to run it with them, then we're going as far as we can together. If it's somebody I've played with who I don't trust, I'm going to go up to them and try my best to, like, be like, hey, like, let's have each other's backs. But I also, there's no reason, if I didn't feel like I could trust them, why would I be able to trust them now just because they know me? So I probably wouldn't go after them right away. But I'd probably take a shot when I had a chance. And if I caught wind of them trying to turn it on me, I'd probably just accuse them of doing whatever they were accusing me of in the past. I'd probably just lie. I feel like anybody who really knows my game, has played with me before, probably wouldn't want to go after me right away. I think that they wouldn't want to let me get too far, but you know, who knows? I've not had that experience yet, and I do think it would be a detriment to my game. Like there's two types of people I definitely don't get along with that well in normal life. One of them is like the broiest bro. I don't really, you know, I'm a big sports fan, but outside of that, there's probably not a lot in common personality-wise, the way we go about things. So I don't usually vibe with like the broiest bros. But in this game, especially knowing the type of people who usually play, the broiest bro could be a real, honestly, like shield and or ally for me, because they're gonna see that, like, you know, I come off a certain way and they might try to attach themselves to me, but I might be able to sort of like fend them off or bring them in or like use it to my advantage. And the only need that I don't think I can give is somebody who won't give anything to me. Like, so that could be any type of person. So it's not really the type of person, it's what they're offering or not offering. I, at this point, have played enough games to know when somebody's not really vibing with me and is like, you know, a little hesitant. So I can suss that out, I think. And as long as I can find a need for somebody, I think I can work with them. I mean, in this situation, like, do I have an alliance? Like, you know, I mean, it depends on what situation I'm in the game to begin with, right? Like, do I have an alliance who doesn't seem like they're really backing me? Am I more of a floater? Am I in the minority alliance? Like, you know, ultimately, if I feel like my name's getting thrown out there, what I'm going to try to do is give enough people, not everybody, but enough people, a group of people, a reason to keep me around, like, strategically. I'm going to say, you know, if this group of people does this together, that gives you an advantage. And I'm going to put myself out there. You know, I'm a threat. Like, I don't mind being that threat, you know. Basically, I'm just going to like try to create, I would say, the smallest possible group that keeps me safe, because I don't want to seem like I'm trying to work the whole game. I'm going to basically try to turn it into two sides, and hope that my side wins. You know, if I give enough people, again, a reason, a need, or I see their need, I give them a reason to advance in the game with me, then I'm going to give them that reason. And hopefully that's enough. It's all situational. You can be bombastic, you can be sneaky, somewhere in between. You can do it all behind the scenes. You can yell at tribal. I don't mind coming off as like, oh, he's really working it, because I'm going to get voted out anyway. A lot of tribe swaps, different twists that change up, like who's voting, when are you voting, with who are you voting, you know, what powers are at play, blah, blah, blah. Like, just like lots of different fluidity, which I think that suits me well. I think that suits me a lot better than Nowhere to Hide, honestly. I think my biggest strength in these games is my adaptability. And I think it's also one of my biggest strengths in life. And I think life really is truly just about being adaptable. That's like how a person survives, unless you have it made. And most people don't, you know, off the bat. So you have to be adaptable, you have to be fluid, you have to be ready for anything and not like thrown off by it, not getting too attached or detached from anybody. You know, the game is a chess board. Like everybody's a chess piece, and that's how you have to play the game when it's constantly changing. You have to evolve with it and not be hesitant, but also not be like boisterous. You play the same game you would regardless. You just do it in different situations. You're the same person, and if you're an adaptable person, it should work for you. And if you're not an adaptable person, you're probably going to get left behind. Viewers can expect somebody who's not going to back down. The viewers can expect somebody who would much, much, much prefer to go down swinging and crying and fighting than going out blindsided or quiet. I don't think that I've really much ever gone out of a game quietly. I think maybe one time. And I never want to do that again. That was the worst feeling. So you can expect somebody who's going to go out swinging and try to win this game playing as assertively as possible, but not in like a mean way or not in a attacking like on a personal level way, but like, you know, if you're going to take me out, you're going to have to show yourself.
Going back to the tagline of adaptability amidst the chaos. Well, that's going to start right now. So listen carefully, because I have an offer for you.
Okay.
So, if you are willing to give up your vote at the first tribal council you attend, I will give you some information about the twists in the game. Or you can keep your vote and go into the game completely blind.
If I could definitively or even potentially get an advantage in the game, I would potentially risk my vote. If it's just knowing the twists, I could do without that. And I feel like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you would do. I don't know if you would just give out an advantage on a Zoom call. I think that'd be pretty cool to do, but I don't know. Like, if everybody does that, then like, how many advantages can you give out, right? You know, I run games for a living. That's what I'm trying to do. I am also a game master in a lot of ways. So I could see myself giving somebody advantage for answering yes, for sure. When you first asked, I was almost certainly leaning towards I'm keeping my vote. Your vote is your real only power in the game, as they say. So, you know, if somebody else wants to get an advantage in the game, they can. But I'm gonna go in there with no preconceived notions. I'm gonna go in there knowing somebody might have an advantage, and I think I might be able to use that to my advantage itself. I might be able to go and tell people maybe somebody has one, or maybe I don't want to do that because maybe people will be like, "What are you talking about?" So, even though I don't know the information, even though I might have missed out on having an advantage, I feel like now I at least have a vibe of what it will be right away, and in that way, I feel like I still have information. I still know that this is going to be a vibe, a certain vibe right off the bat, and I think that's good to know in itself, even if I don't have a power. So I'm okay with it.
And also for the viewers, they now get an insight in what they will be, how you process things, how you deal with quick decisions and snap decisions, which that was also the test as well. With that, will Flip survive being stranded? Only time will tell. Thank you.